Oh man, if you've ever written C or C++ code, you know the feeling. You've got a bug, and you just fall down this rabbit hole of adding print statements absolutely everywhere, just trying to get a peek at what's going on inside your program. Well, today we're climbing out of that hole. We're heading into the powerful world of the GNU Debugger, GDB.
I have been there so many times. You know the drill. You add a printf, you recompile, you run it, and nothing. Okay, well, maybe if I add another one, just a few lines up, recompile again, run it again. Still not what I need. You can burn hours in this cycle, and your beautiful, clean code starts to get cluttered with all these temporary print statements you have to remember to delete later. It's so frustrating, and honestly, it's just a huge waste of time.
But here's the thing. What if I told you that you could peek inside your program while it's running, print out any variable you want at any point in the code without ever changing a single line or recompiling? That's not magic, my friend. That is GDB. It lets you have a live conversation with your program.
So here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to talk about exactly why that printf trap is so painful. Then, I'll walk you through the most important first steps for getting a GDB session ready. After that, we unlock the real magic, debugging without hitting recompile. We'll even see how to automate it all. And finally, I'll give you a simple starter pack so you can try this out for yourself.
Okay, let's dive right in. Before we even type the letters GDB, we need to have a little chat with our compiler. We have to ask it, really nicely, to bake in some extra information into our program that GDB needs to read. This is, without a doubt, the most important step. And here they are, the two magic flags, -G3 and -O0. Okay, so -O0, that's the letter O and a 0, tells the compiler, hey, turn off all optimizations. Why would you do that? Well, because a smart compiler, in an effort to make your code faster, will move things around, maybe merge a few lines, or even get rid of variables it thinks are unnecessary. That's fantastic for performance, but it's a nightmare for debugging, because the code GDB sees doesn't match the source file you wrote anymore. Then you have -G3. This tells the compiler to pack in the maximum level of debugging info possible. It's so good, it even includes information about your macros. Seriously, just make it a habit. Use -G3, -O0 for all your development builds. It will make your life so much easier.
All right, so our program is compiled the right way. Now what? How do we actually kick things off with GDB? Well, you've got a few options, and it really just depends on what you're trying to do. The simplest way, the one you'll probably use most of the time, is just GDB followed by your program's name. But what if your program needs command line arguments to run? No problem. Just use -args. Or what if you have a program that's already running and it's stuck in some weird state? You can use -pid to attach to it live and see what's going on. And for those really bad days, when your program crashes and leaves behind a core dump file, you can use -core to do a postmortem and figure out what went wrong. Okay, this brings us to the most important part. This is the whole reason we're here. We want to escape that endless compile and run loop. We want the power of a printf statement without all the pain. This is the part that, for me, completely changed everything about my workflow. So this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How can we see what a variable's value is at a very specific line in our code without having to go through that whole tedious process of recompiling just to find out? And the answer is dprintf. It stands for dynamic printf. Just look at this command. It looks exactly like a printf statement you'd write in C, right? You give it a location, the file, and the line number, then a format string, and then the variables you want to print. You type this directly into the GDB prompt, and it sets up a special kind of breakpoint. And now, when you run your program, every single time the code hits line 41, GDB automatically prints this message for you. Look at that. You're getting all this rich, detailed output, and you never once had to touch your source code. You didn't recompile. I'm telling you, it feels like a superpower.
Okay, so you've set up a few of these awesome dprintf statements. This is great. But the last thing you want is to lose all that work. You shouldn't have to retype these commands every single time you start a new debugging session.
And thankfully, GDB has a beautifully simple solution for this. The command is save breakpoints. You just give it a file name you like, and boom, it saves all of your current breakpoints, including all those powerful dprintfs you just made, right into that file. And if you were to look inside that file, there's no weird magic going on. It is literally just a plain text file that contains the exact GDB commands you typed. This is awesome because it means you can even edit the file by hand or check it into source control and share it with a teammate who's debugging the same piece of code. So the next time you fire up GDB, all you have to do is type source and the name of that file. GDB will read it and instantly reapply all of your saved breakpoints. This is how you start building a reusable debugging toolkit for your project. Now, saving commands to a file kind of hints at a much bigger, more powerful idea. What if we could do more than just print a single line? What if we could make a breakpoint run an entire script of commands?
Well, you can. This feature is called breakpoint commands. The best way to think about it is like creating a little robot that carries out a whole checklist of actions for you every time your program hits a certain spot. And it can do all of this without even pausing the program if you don't want it to. Let's look at a more advanced example. So here, we've set a breakpoint at the start of an insert function. First, we tell it to be silent so we don't get the default message. Then we can call our program's own printf function to print a custom entry message. We can even use an if statement for some logic. But here's the absolute game changer. We can call a function that already exists in our own code, like a print tree function, to visualize a whole data structure at that exact moment. You're using your own code as a debugging tool. Finally, continue tells GDB, okay, you're done here, keep running. This is just incredibly powerful stuff. Now, just a quick pro tip here that will save you from pulling your hair out. In some older versions of GDB, there was a bug where dprintf didn't always play nice inside these command scripts. But the good news is it's fixed. Just make sure you're using version GDB 11.15 or anything newer, and you'll be golden. Okay, I know that was a lot of information, so let's boil it all down into a simple, actionable plan. I want you to be able to try this out the second this explainer is over. So here it is, your 3-step mission. First, compile your code with those 2 magic flags, G3 and OO. Don't forget. Second, fire up GDB, pick any function, and just set one dprint to see how it feels. Third, as soon as you have it working, immediately use save breakpoints to save it to a file. This simple little loop is going to get you so comfortable with this workflow, so fast. So think about whatever project you're working on right now. What's that one annoying temporary printf statement you've been commenting in and out? Go replace it with a dprintf. I'm telling you, once you stop thinking about debugging as a chore and you start seeing it as a conversation with your code, everything changes. So what's the first question you're going to ask your program? This video is generated with Google's Notebook LM based on cited resources and for reference only. Take this further. I'm genuinely excited to see what you discover. Comment topics you'd like covered, leave a rating, and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. Until next time.